What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the Geek Cast. I am Bobby, the Geek Guru, joined by the full cast, and actually a new cast member that is going to be here full-time from, well, whenever Alan slips or she slips, hopefully one of them will be here to fill in for the other. Holly is in the full-time chair now. What is up, Holly?
Well, nothing really. I'm here. I'm here permanently, and hope you guys like me, because that'd be good.
Well, I drew you in the intro, so hopefully people like you.
Hopefully, because there's no going back now.
Well, you're in a spot I can erase you, so that's fine. I can just go back in with my thing and just cut you out.
Oh God, don't say that.
Even with the cool thing with that thing is, like, if I did it, it would actually record me erasing you out, so I could add that, I could have it draw you in.
Oh my God, that'd be so mean.
That would be awesome. That'd be so.
Oh my God, that would be so mean.
To do it now. But Alan, how are you doing today?
I am very well. You glorious man, you.
Thank you. And
40%.
Toby, now that you're,
Yeah, I'm alright.
The savages are finally calm in that room.
He's on my lap, so
we'll see how long that lasts. Is Karina at work or something?
Yeah, she's not back till 5. She's been gone all morning. So.
Oh, you poor you.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna kick this episode off like we do every episode with our Geek Outs. Holly, ladies first. You are up. What are you geeking out about?
Well, what am I geeking out about? Well, it's kind of recent, but the other night I bought Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm a massive Elder Scrolls fan, massive. Mainly Oblivion, Skyrim, the earlier ones I haven't really played too much, but I have been geeking out massively over Elder Scrolls Online, and it's totally exceeded my expectations, so it's just great. It's great.
We'll go to the next lady in the house. Alan, what are you geeking out about?
Oh, you. I'm camp. I admit it. It's fine. Well, Bobby, I'm gonna just wind you up. I'm geeking out about Deadpool still.
Of course you are.
I didn't get to talk about it after I got to see it, but Bobby, Deadpool is so good. Have you seen it yet, Bobby? Have you seen Deadpool yet?
No, haven't seen it. Don't care.
So giddy.
See, this is what I'm going to be watching when it comes out. That's all I care about.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I could talk about it for hours, but can we just get it out there? Ryan Reynolds' ass in red spandex is amazing.
Oh. Yeah, that is pretty good.
So now you're taking it to a weird place, man.
I'm not into Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I'm not either, but he has a really good bum.
Does he?
I like him, but I don't like him like that. I think that,
seriously.
Shout out to the train. I think that, I don't know. What I'm excited about with this, truthfully, is I hope that Hollywood now sees that if you take comic book source material seriously, the fans will show up in droves and support the film. So if you just do it right and stop playing games, it can, no offense, but the directors need to stop being these creative geniuses and stuff.
Just go with what it.
Yes, do what it is. And if the studio can't get somebody that wants to do it like the source material, then keep going until you find someone that's willing to do it like the source material. We don't need a new take every single time out the barrel. I'm sorry. Well, Civil War, I know that that's not what it is because of the fact that, Marvel hoard out all their characters back in the 80s and stuff when they were about to go bankrupt. But you're in a situation where it's Civil War isn't what it is supposed to be because a lot of that has to do with they don't have all the characters and they can't do it. But, it's nothing what it's supposed to be. And I feel like Civil War was a knee-jerk reaction to Batman vs. Superman. They felt okay, we need to come with our big two guns and have them fight on screen and do something. But
who was in Civil War?
Everybody.
Spider-Man, Iron Man.
It's basically Avengers 2.0 is what it's going to be. Well, 3.0 it's more or less what it's going to be because it's all the characters from Avengers in this film and, all picking sides and choosing sides and fighting with each other. So I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out. But I'm just hoping that, like I said, that this is a good sign that you can do it good, and let's be honest, like, it's an R-rated flick, so that's not even. Although I'm sure that the studios are sitting there going like, "Hey, if we'd have made this PG-13, we could have made even more money." But
this is what scares me about the sequel, like Fox meddling. When Fox get involved in stuff, we get the Fantastic Four that we all wish we could forget. The thing I got about Deadpool, it could have gone so horribly wrong, and it could have been too.
I thought it was going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, and they managed to nail the landing, and it was perfect. It's the best comic book origin film, I would say. And Bobby, just go and see it. Stop being a.
I will go see it eventually. I just haven't. I was supposed to go either yesterday or today, but it looks like it's probably going to be next weekend now, the way it's panning out. But because me and Tony were going to go after I got back from New York, but just didn't work out that way. Toby, what are you geeking out about?
I am geeking out about The Division. Ubisoft's new online shooter that's coming out. I've been watching a lot of people.
The beta's up, right?
Yeah, a lot of people playing the beta, and I was tempted to join in with it because there's an open beta now. But I'm one of those people that just like to get the game when it's out. At least you know that most of the glitches are probably going to be fixed, and you're not going to lose any progress or whatever. So.
That's out really soon, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out March 8th, I think. Something like that.
And you know what? I jumped into the Battlefront beta, and it actually turned me off the game because it was just so jumpy and glitchy and all that stuff.
Kind of puts you off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean...
Even though you know it's the beta, but it's like you sort of accept what you're looking at, and you're like, oh my god, no.
Yeah, I mean, from the beta footage I've seen, it looks like it runs well, apart from some screen tearing, but like I haven't seen any major issues yet.
Yeah.
But should we be worried that it's a beta this close to release, and there's not really a lot of...
Well, that's a good point.
No, because they've already had a beta before. This is a closed beta. This is an open beta. Right now, they're testing servers.
Exactly, Bob. Because it is like a lot of the focus is on online co-op or online like play. Because you can play it single player, offline. But there's like a whole thing with playing with your friends, whether you're doing the campaign co-op or whether you go into the dark zone where you can do PvP against other people.
Serious question on all that social stuff. That always seems to be the Achilles heel of any game, like Assassin's Creed Unity, Drive Club, these kind of games with lots of. Is that going to be detrimental?
I think that a lot of the core gameplay revolves around playing with a friend rather than NPCs. Like I feel like the game's built around that. Whereas I don't know. I never played Unity, but I feel like that was probably something they just tacked on. Like
there was other issues with Unity, why that didn't work out. Like that didn't have anything to do with the community not being there to play it. That had to do with the game was just glitched out of its mind and wasn't ready to launch, and they launched it way too early. So I think that if you have the like, look at a GTA 5, like. The community still supports it. I mean, look at Toby. Toby and the guys still play. And when you go on, there's a lot of people on all the time.
I still play.
Yeah. So if it's a solid, everything's solid, you're going to have that. They're going to stick and they're going to stay. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been comparing it to Destiny, like saying it's Ubisoft's answer to Destiny. It's not a first-person shooter, but it could be like a thing. Well, they've said that they're going to continue to support it, so I'm sure they'll be adding like DLC. Over the years or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so myself, I am geeking out about the Nintendo New York store. So, just got back yesterday. Myself and Miguel went up there. There is a vlog up right now of the trip and everything. That place, like, when I initially, my initial knee-jerk reaction was like, well, they didn't really change much. But, like, what they did change had to have cost them a lot of money to make those changes. So I'm okay with that. Like, it was a lot of, like, moving the counter from this spot to that spot. And, like, when you used to walk in on the ground floor, in the center of the store was, like, a 3DS section where they had like all these little chairs and stuff, and like you would always see little kids there playing 3DS and testing them out. They moved that upstairs now, which is good because it kind of gets it out of the way of the store. Because I'm sure that anytime they did anything big there, big events, it always got clogged up there because of that section. So they moved that upstairs. The 15-foot monitor, holy cow, that thing is amazing.
Yeah, that's what impressed me the most out of your video.
Yeah, and then like seeing Twilight Princess in HD, I'm sold. I don't. I'm telling you right now, the footage that you guys have seen online does zero justice for this thing. I was blown out of my mind when I walked up and saw that thing. I was just like, holy cow. And let's be honest, you know, the bigger things are, doesn't make them better. Like when you shrink it down onto our TVs, it's going to become crisp and better. I just can't wait for this game now. Like that sold me. That 5 minutes of walking by the monitor, just sitting there staring at it, just awesome. You know,
was it just a video playing, or were people?
No,
playing
people were playing it. No, what they did was they had a Wii U hooked up to it, and they had a guy who was like, they had an employee there, and he was just basically like timing people and then like kind of kicking you off, because there was a line of people that wanted to play it and try it. So, they got 3DSs and Wii U set up all over the place so people can just jump in and grab and play. And the Mario Maker section, awesome. Like it's not a section, it's like a display case when you walk up the top of the steps. And there's actual original hand-drawn on graph paper Super Mario levels by Miyamoto, and it's just like, wow. Like there's a piece of history right there in front of your face, and it's just like, holy cow. And there's like little notes on it and stuff. Just awesome.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and Miguel's always fun. So there was.
Yeah, I'm glad Miguel went.
Yeah, well.
I'm glad you got good footage of him showing what he bought as well.
Yeah. Well, because I knew you would say something if I did, and I was like, I gotta make sure Miguel shows everything. So that's pretty much what I'm geeking out about. What we're playing, Toby. What are you playing?
Right. So I played 2 games this week. Firstly, I am still playing more of the Ghost Recon Shadow Wars game on 3DS, so I won't talk about that. But I did get to play some Firewatch. Now, big thanks to Alan, who gave me some money for my birthday so I could get it. So, but the game is really good. I love the story. I'm not going to spoil anything because I've listened to other podcasts like the PS I Love You. Lots of like little spoilers all over that. I didn't even warn about it, so I was annoyed about that. But anyway, the game itself got a really good story. The controls took me a little while to get used to because you can talk to someone on the radio, but you've got to hold down a button and then you can use the stick to pick your choice of your reply and then let go of the button and it will send it back. So it's like kind of a weird thing to get used to doing, as well as like looking at your map and your compass at the same time and everything. But I did notice a few performance issues, because you can do a brisk walk. And when you do that, as you're walking around the open world, there's some seriously bad stuttering where the world is loading, and it kind of throws you out of the immersion of the game, and it makes you, because when you're playing it, you're really sort of deep into it and you're enjoying it, but then you get some really bad stuttering, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm playing a game. I know I'm playing a game. Yeah.
Well, I bought Firewatch this week as well, and I'm going to tell you right now, horrible. When I tell you that, at this point in the game where we are, for me to get nauseous after 15 minutes of play, I can play Minecraft, no problems, Destiny, no problems. A lot of games that are first person on the next gen, I could play and not have any problems. They've admitted that they didn't do what needed to be done and they're talking about putting a patch out to help.
Yeah,
people that don't even get nauseous are getting nauseous over this game.
Yeah, it was something to do with the head bobbing and the depth of field, wasn't it? So
yeah, it's a mess. I literally 15 minutes, I felt myself going, "Whoa, what the heck is going on here?" And then by 30 minutes, I had to shut the game down. So I was listening to the Fathers of the Grind, I believe, podcast. Derek and Tim, and I want to say Tim was saying the same thing. Like after 30 minutes, he was shutting it down and moving on because he could feel it, and he's like, I'm going to keep playing, I'm going to keep pushing. Or no, maybe, I'm probably wrong. It's probably, but I was listening to a podcast. I listened to so many podcasts this weekend going up to New York. But somebody I was listening to this weekend was saying that, like, they were just constantly getting sick after 30 minutes. Oh, you know what? It was 8-4 play. One of the guys on 8-4 play. And they were like, I had to keep shutting it down every 30 minutes and then go back later.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's so unplayable.
And apparently the guy that was getting sick on 8-4 play, like, he does have motion sickness issues on certain games, but not that bad. And for me, like, it was horrible. And I mean, it's a beautiful game, and especially for a game that's just an exploratory game. There's really no, from everything that I've heard, there's no meat to it. There's no crux to it. There's nothing that makes you go like, okay. The storyline and the dialogue is like, so far I'm like in, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to be a good storyline. But just it made, like, the fact of, like, going out and exploring and stuff like that, like, I have zero desire to explore. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, I just got to go in and try to rough it through and beat it. And I'm actually to the point where I'm like, do I really want to go? Do I feel like getting sick to play this game? Like, I'm almost half tempted to just say, like, let's wait until a patch comes out and then go from there.
It's a very short game now. I've heard it's 2 to 3 hours. So I'm trying to draw it out a little bit because... I don't want to just rush through it. You can probably go through it in 1 or 2 sessions, but I mean,
for me, it's like 10 sessions.
Yeah, I mean, I only played it for like 30 minutes to an hour, and I turned it off after that because I wasn't getting sick, but I want to make it last. So.
Yeah. Alan, what are you playing?
I'm grinding through Xenoblade again, just try to get my character level up, because I seem to have jumped into some missions that are putting me up against enemies that are way above my class. So
when you say you jumped into missions, are they affinity missions or are they just missions?
They're affinity missions.
And you went from
one.
What's the mission?
It's a really the one I'm doing. I can't remember what exactly it is because I put on a podcast and I just go unless it's a story mission.
Yeah.
And it's just got me going up against this level 41, and I'm a level 30. Well, I'm level 30 now, and it's like just having my ass handed to me. So I'm now just grinding what I can.
Because normally with affinity, like with any missions, like the affinity missions and the story missions, you have to approve. Like you have to meet certain standards, and sometimes it's not where it's. Hold on.
I'm trying to remember the name of the mission, actually. Is it the Crazy Sensei or something like that? Played that one?
It could be.
I don't think that's the actual name of the mission, but it's...
I don't know, but but sometimes, like, when you get into the missions, they tell you have to be a certain level before you can even attempt them.
Well, that's the weird thing. I'm maybe mixing up what mission I'm doing because I'm one of those folk with a huge list of them, and I jump between them.
So you could have just grabbed any. It might not be an affinity mission.
Yeah, but there's certainly I'm coming up against things that's like kill this level 40.
Because those things you don't have to touch right now.
Yeah, but
those are the type. Okay, when you played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, you would take on all these missions, and then you would run around and just do all kinds of stuff, and then occasionally you see some start pinging that you accomplished it. That's the similarities of this. Is like the affinity missions and the storyline missions, you cannot progress further until you complete those missions. But the other stuff, like if it's because when I first started, I took a mission and it was telling me I had to do to beat a level 36 thing, and I was only like level 10, and I was getting like I'd walk up and boom, the first hit, all my party's dead. I just left it alone. Went off and started grinding and doing my own thing and not even dealing with that. So I think it's the same thing for you. Like, don't worry about it. If it's not a story mission or a affinity mission, just leave it alone and move on. And eventually you'll get strong enough, you go back and you take it out.
I'm not a fan of grinding, but I'm finding that I'll stick on, a YouTube video or something like a group chat thing I like to listen to and just run around and grind up my level. So yeah, that's been keeping my attention. And when I get bored of that, I jump into the Uncharted collection. I'm on the third one now, which honest to God, looks like a current gen game. It's
It was already a decent looking game.
now it's like so pretty.
That's not my issue.
That's a big thing to say, Toby. That is a big thing to say.
I'm level 140 on, like, it takes a long time to get that level.
Sorry. What level was that? Sorry, say it again.
140.
So pretty much that means you have 0 life. That for the last 3 years, that's all you've done is lived on that game online. Because
you don't live on that game.
Listen, anybody can go back and listen to me. Wait a minute. Everybody can go back to the very first episode and count how many weeks straight that when we go, what are you playing? Toby goes, oh, I'm playing more GTA 5. Oh, I'm playing more GTA 5. Don't want to hear it. I beat the game. You didn't. Look. I'm better. You're not. It's all that matters. Next up,
children.
We're going to go to the first topic.
Children.
Our first topic is, if we ran Nintendo, with, what would you officially name the NX? With it coming, we know the NX isn't going to be the name of the console. They always put out these code names first. I think the Wii U was like, what was it? Project Cafe, and then which one was Dolphin? GameCube was Dolphin. Yeah. So, what do we think, or what would you, if you had the choice, if you ran Nintendo, what would be your name that you would give the NX?
I would keep it as NX. I'd just call it NX.
Yeah.
Because I think that's such a cool sounding name, right?
Yeah, I like it.
And it's in people's minds because they announced it so early, right? People have been talking about NX for months, right? And if it is a cross, like a cross sort of platform, if it is like hybrid cross thing, it makes sense. Nintendo X, like Nintendo Cross, NX, like, and I think that would be a cool sounding brand as well, like from Wii to NX.
No.
What would you call
it? I know you came with good stuff. What would you name it, Alan?
Well, I kind of think Toby May isn't entirely wrong. I think they would go kind of a harken back to the kind of the old system, but they make all the NXS, the Nintendo Cross System, because
but that sounds like
NXS. I'm thinking so many jokes. But I actually have always said, and I've said, we were discussing it when Project Cafe, me and my brother, and I said I would love if Nintendo went something really simple like the Nintendo. I think if the NX would be the 8th home console, so the Nintendo 8, or just even just call it Nintendo.
I thought that too. The other thing I thought was I came up with 2 names. One, I don't think they can do, and this goes back to the Nintendo 64 time. They were going to originally call that the Ultra Nintendo, and it got squashed because someone owned the copyrights.
Yeah, and it's a stupid name.
So I would like to see it called Ultra Nintendo. If that's not, push that aside. The other thing I would go back to is I would call it Super Nintendo 2.
Yes, I love that. I love that. No, Bobby, I love that.
Because I feel like this. I feel like of all the consoles that they've put out, that is the best console they ever put out. It's since the NES, it's always been on a rapid decline as far as sales go until the Wii, and that was just an anomaly. But I think that like the Super Nintendo was this, great time for them. They had a lot of great games. They were hitting on all cylinders at that time. They were really aggressive at that time. I would just like to see them go back and just call it Super Nintendo 2. Or like Alan said, Nintendo 8 or whatever it is.
Alan, right? Cool. You're the tech guy. So how many bits do you think are going to be in the NX?
How many bits?
Because it could be like the Nintendo 5000.
I was about to say 5,000 bit.
Like the 5,000 bit machine.
What was it? It was N64 64-bit, and then we had the GameCube, which was N128, and then we went into PlayStation 3. That's when we get into a different territory. You're talking about millions of bits.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know. I mean, how many bits?
Listen, if they came out with Nintendo 5000, people would be like, "What?" No.
Like the Super Soaker, like the Super Soaker 3000.
Remember, Nintendo have always, the only time their naming conventions changed was with the Wii. It was the Nintendo Entertainment System, which was a Nintendo Entertainment System. You had the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Then you had the N64, which was Nintendo's 64-bit console. Then you had the GameCube, which was a cube that played games, and that's when. So I think kind of going back to that convention of the Nintendo Cross system, because come on, it's going to be a system where you're, if in my theory is right, you share your games across both platforms, home and hybrid.
See, my feeling is that whatever they do at this point, they need to lock in and continue from here. And like, and what I mean by that is, like, you look at Sony, and Sony just been PlayStation, and that's been the console, and it just had numbers after it. I think that it makes it simplistic for parents when they hear Nintendo, if they hear Super Nintendo 2, or if they heard Nintendo 8, or whatever we're at, it to them it's like, okay, this is the next progression. Wii U was the dumbest name in the world, because what does U mean? Like, if they would have said Wii 2, I think they would have sold more from the jump street.
Yeah.
Just because
or Wii HD.
Something, because parents would have went, oh, okay. I don't think Wii HD would have done it, because I think Wii HD would just make them think like, oh,
it's just like remastered. It's just
I think Wii 2 basically tells you this is the sequel to what you have.
Yeah.
If you want better games and all this stuff, you need to upgrade to this. That's where I think was the beginning of the downfall for them. And it seems like ever since that naming, they just have new 3DS XL, and it's like, come on now. Really?
Yeah, I thought that was like when they were like, the new 3DS. I was like, can you not actually like name it something like the 3DS 2 or something that's a bit more obvious?
Just something different would have worked better. Like, you know, I mean, with Apple goes iPhone 4, and when they go like that, like when they go that like skip generation in the middle, it's an S. So everything's an S in the middle of the year, and the beginning of the year, their first phone is, you know, the number, and then the slight upgrade is the S series. That's, to me, like, it just shows that Nintendo is faltering in that area. So I feel like you need to get back to basics. Whatever you decide needs to be like. That's why I felt like if they went Super Nintendo 2, or again, like Alan says, if they go Nintendo, it actually would be what Nintendo 6 would be what it would be. So if they went Nintendo 6 or Super Nintendo 2 or something like that, like, it tells people, okay, this is an upgrade. You know, if they go Wii 3, even if they went Wii 3.
Yeah.
You know what they're going to call it?
No, I don't think.
They're going to call it the Game Man. Because they've had the Game Boy.
Stop it.
So now it's going to be the Game Man. He's grown up. He's got third party.
He's a man now. He's got a family.
Yeah.
Let's look at it this way. The 90 kid in me wants it to just be the Nintendo Extreme, and it's X.
The Hyper Nintendo.
Yeah, and all the ad campaign is like really bad versions of 90 adverts.
That's
really terrible voiceover and lots of lightning in the background and neon.
Okay, so
I have 11% battery.
You're gonna fade soon. Okay, so Ubisoft basically said they are taking a 1-year break from Assassin's Creed. That they're going to go back this year. They're going to fix issues and work on issues and such. I'm not a real big Ubi fan as it is, but I got to applaud this because I feel like they need it. But Toby, you're the Assassin's Creed fan here.
Yeah, because I saw something the other day that they were saying that their whole video game strategy is changing, because it used to be that games would come out on an annual basis, like your Call of Duty, your Assassin's Creed, and all that, and people would buy them, play them for a month, and then just not play them anymore. Yeah. And that was like their thing. But now games are changing in a way that people buy them, play them for longer periods of time, like your Destiny and your Division, that they're hoping that's going to turn into a long-term thing that they just keep adding to over time. And I think that they're going to do that with Assassin's Creed as well. Like, I feel like it's not going to be annual anymore. It's probably going to be, there'll be one next year, and then there won't be one until like 2019 again. I think they mentioned something like that anyway. But I think that because people get franchise fatigue, and I feel like that's totally starting to hit the Assassin's Creed games.
Yep.
Because they iterate, but it's quite small what they do. Like, the setting changes, the characters change, but the actual core gameplay doesn't change that much. And I think that they need more time between each one to like add more dramatic changes.
my feeling is the best company is Rockstar. Like, just the way they do it is above and beyond, crushes. When a new GTA comes out, when Red Dead 2 comes out, it's going to sell like gangbusters because people are ready for it. And you know, that's...
It's like Bethesda as well. I feel like Rockstar and Bethesda are like... I think they're really good at that.
Yeah.
Really good at that.
Absolutely. What do you think, Alan?
It's the best thing, and I'm hoping it becomes a biannual. If they're going to keep with annual, 1 year miss Assassin's Creed, but have a new Watch Dogs or a new Division, and then have another Assassin's Creed. But give your guys time to develop an interesting game, because I'm not a huge fan. I think I've played one. I'm still playing one Assassin's Creed game that I like, and that's Black Flag.
Yeah.
Hated everything else.
I've never liked any of them. Yeah, I haven't liked any of them.
Did nothing for me. Syndicate annoyed me on different levels. I think it was this whole kind of... They introduced the new female character, and I think they just did that so they didn't get backlash like they got from when they did Unity, because there was no female character. It's almost like it's a game designed by committee of who can we please every demographic.
With the female character,
it's a good game.
Yeah, and in Syndicate, like the two characters, Jacob and Evie, they are physically different, but they feel like they play the same, and you can upgrade them the same as well. So the only difference appears to be just their appearance. But I would say that I prefer playing as Evie, the female character.
Yeah. I just feel like they're at a point where they just need to get it together and figure out what they're doing, and they need to stop with the annualization. And they basically threw it on the fans from the beginning, because when people first asked, they were like, hey, until the fans stop buying it, right now the fans are buying it and they're telling us that they want this every year. So why would you stop making them every year if the fans... I think now... But let's be honest too, I think they also hurt themselves a little bit when they did Unity and Rogue, because that was 2 games essentially in 1 year. And I think that's where people started to get like, okay, enough's enough. Like, we're tired of this. Like, we need a little break. And I think with Unity having so many problems, I think that kind of put a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think that's where people shined the light on Ubi and were just like, okay, you need to go away for a little bit and take a break and then come back with something better.
Yeah, I hope they do it with Far Cry as well.
Well, Far Cry... I don't like. But Far Cry's not really necessarily annualized, is it? Like, they do the number, and then they do, like, the weird offshoot in between.
Yeah, but the thing is, like they had Far Cry 4, I think it was the end of 2014 it came out.
Yeah.
And then Primal's, like, out now, pretty much. So there's only been, like, a year, or just over a year between those two releases.
But you don't... But honestly, you don't need Primal. Like, you could stick to the numbers and you'd be okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, like...
The in-betweens feel like more like it's a way to, like, give fans something to hold them over if they're that...
They are advertising this game like it's the next proper Far Cry game. And, like, because it's not... To them, it's not really... It's going to be a full-price game. It's not going to be a spin-off price or anything.
Well, absolutely, yeah. But it's also, because when we were talking to Joey Ferris last week, if you remember, he was like, it's a totally different style. Like, you're not using guns and stuff. You're using spears and bows and arrows and things like that. So I think they're doing the right thing with this, because you could essentially start to get into, like, they're using the Far Cry name, I guess, because it's a similarity to it. But you could actually go where they just turn into... Primal could become its own series, and Far Cry could be, branch off to its own series as well. I mean, I don't know, and they probably won't do that, but it's just, if Primal sells like gangbusters, they could easily branch them off into 2 different series, and it could just become Primal. Primal could just be the name of it, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We're going to kick back to Nintendo for a couple of things here. But Nintendo, it's been a year since Nintendo kind of relaunched their program, their creators program on YouTube. And myself, Holly, Toby, we all put videos up. We all try to do Let's Plays, things of that nature. and there's been a lot of flack lately with fair usage, things of that nature. I know myself, I can't think of a video that I've put up of a Nintendo game that hasn't gotten flagged.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Yeah. I have quite a lot to say on the subject.
Yeah, I do too. And Toby, I know you're like hit or miss. Sometimes they grab you, sometimes they don't, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I don't put up that many videos, but they've grabbed a few of them.
But you've done quite a few Let's Plays, you know, and...
Yeah, I mean, they've grabbed some of the Animal Crossing ones that you gave me to put up, and I think the Mario Maker one as well. But the thing is, like, because it's not my job, like, I'm not that bothered about it, but I can see that it's probably affecting a lot more people than you think. That do it for a living, like on YouTube, and I feel like they're only hurting themselves in the long run because it's only going to discourage people from making videos about their games and using footage from their games.
Well, I brought this up in the I sent out the notes for the week and what I wanted to talk about, and Allan, who doesn't Allan will do. You don't do anything on YouTube, right? You're just basically you go and watch videos and things like that.
Talentless shill is what I am.
That's not necessarily the case.
I'm a talentless. I have ideas. I'm just a lazy, talentless shill that doesn't do anything.
But Allan was sent me a tweet of a guy, Haedox, Haedox, who is on Twitter. And Allan sent me a thing. He goes, "Is this what you were talking about? Like that we should talk about?" And here, the guy got a copyright strike, not a strike, but like a claim against him for Fire Emblem Fates. Nintendo sent him copies of the game to review. He does the review, puts game footage in the review, which people are going to watch your video. They want to see. They just don't want someone sitting there talking about it. They want to see, like if you say when you go and you do this, they'd like to see you doing it so they get a feel for it. Yeah. Nintendo put a copyright claim against him, and he's flipping out, and he's pissed, and rightfully so. Like, if you give me the game to do a review and then go, oh, okay, now after you've made the video, we're going to take the rights to it, so that way any money you would have made is ours now.
They kind of make you think is acceptable, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, but hold on," and it's just.
Well, the thing is, isn't the problem in the system itself? Because they might not have flagged him deliberately. It might have been an automatic thing that searched for that footage or the sound of the game.
But it does happen very quickly. Like it does. I've literally been in the process of uploading something, literally 5 minutes after it's uploaded, and I've got 7 claims on my stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, how do you do it that quickly? So
part of that is Nintendo. Well, but part of that is Nintendo, because when Nintendo kind of partnered with YouTube prior to this creators program that they created, they put in if you hear things, we want it grabbed. And
I've had pictures. I've had pictures claimed. Yeah. And I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As I understand it as an outsider, there is a fair use system, isn't there? You can have 30 seconds of music.
It's not fair though.
But what I've seen folk getting strikes recently on other channels I watch, and they're now limited to 15-minute uploads because of these strikes. I think it's different in nature, but the system's automated. But what I don't get is why not have, instead of punishing the creator because they've made a flag of a review, so we're going to punish the creator outright until we review it. Why not review it first, then look at it, right? Well, actually, no. He's got a review under fair use. He can use your video or stuff you sent because it's a review. You can't strike that. Why? I don't understand YouTube's. I think it may come back to a Viacom lawsuit or something. But they need to change it all up. And it's instead of punishing you guys, or if one day I decide to, I'm punishing the creator. Just go. Hang on. We have a system in place. We'll see if their stuff does infringe it. No, it doesn't. So instead of punishing you and then going back and looking at it, punish you after they've confirmed, this is in breach of our rules.
But this goes back kind of far though, doesn't it? Because I don't know if you guys remember, but with Smash Bros. 4, when that was coming out, they said they weren't going to do cutscenes because people would upload them to YouTube. And I think that's totally flawed knowledge. I think that's just so flawed, because why would you not want these massive creators showing your game and showing they're enjoying it. Like I know some do, like I can't think of who does, but there's a few big YouTubers I know that sort of base their channel on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know how. Maybe they have got some kind of agreement with Nintendo, but like, I don't know. I guess because I think of Brawl, and I love the cutscenes in Brawl, and I just found it so, like, I don't know. I really liked it, and I just think it's totally flawed that they said no cutscenes because of uploading it to YouTube. But every other company does that.
They're stuck. They're stuck in the time warp, and they're stuck in this fear of knowing and finding out what this is all about. It's like it's like they got a bunch of
the mystery. They want to keep it like
It's like they have a bunch of 90-year-old men that are running the system, and they don't want to figure this out. And it's like listen, this benefits you. This helps you. You don't
exactly. It's helping you. It's advertising, and people are doing it for free. Like you don't even have to send them anything. They're literally showing your game.
Yes, and my thing is this: is that the people that don't know, that don't create, and they're looking at it and they're going, and they're Nintendo fanboys, and they're sitting there and they're going, oh, you're just a bunch of crybabies and things of that nature. Okay, let's eliminate this right off the jump street. Yes, Nintendo did create a creators program. It's garbage. And let me explain why it's garbage. The way it works is if I create a video and I upload it, and it draws money off of it. And I'll be honest with you, I have not made a single dime off of YouTube yet. So I haven't made a single dime off of YouTube yet, okay? I've got money in the account that when I finally reach my threshold, I'll get paid or whatever. It's like $30. I'm not even, like, I do this because I enjoy it, not for the money. But it's aggravating when I sit there and I go, I'm buying new stuff to make my videos.
Like I'm buying this.
But not even that. Not even that. I'm not even talking about the games. I'm talking about I bought this microphone. I bought this new iMac. Like I'm buying things to help my production value and to do things. It'd be nice to have a little bit of money to offset them costs because it's not cheap what we're doing. You know what I mean? You know, I painted my entire room. And I bought these decals from Nintendo and all these stupid amiibo and stuff to decorate it so it's a nice background and nice backdrop. Like, we're doing all this stuff. It'd be nice to make a little bit of money just to offset. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm not looking to quit my day job. No. So basically the way it works is if I do make money off of YouTube, there's 100% pot. 70% comes to me. 30% goes to YouTube. Seems fair. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing the videos. They're getting their cut because they're doing all the other
stuff. They're like providing the like accessibility. Yeah.
They're giving me the means to the end, and I get that, and I'm fine with that. Nintendo comes in and goes, hey, join our content creator program, and we're going to take that 70%, and we're going to now split it with you 60-40.
Yeah.
Which I think number one is a BS split. You're not doing anything at all. You've already been paid for your games. So why you're taking the money is ridiculous.
Yeah. And games aren't cheap. Like we spend money on them, but games are not cheap. Like they're not cheap.
No, not at all. And
especially Nintendo, because Nintendo never loses value. You want to buy a game that's like even like Wii games, they're still like full price.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're second hand. Same with 3DS games.
$60 for Skyward Sword. Like the games, what?
They don't lose value. Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm fine with all that. But then, on top of the ridiculous split you want to throw on us, you then tell us you can't play these certain games. The biggest game at the time of the content creators was Smash and Mario Kart 8. You were not allowed
games.
You were not allowed to record those videos, or you would not get any of the content, and you run the risk of getting kicked out of Nintendo's group. Like. Get
like the two big, like the together. The two biggest games.
Yeah.
Like.
But the thing is, I'm hoping that the NX has a much more relaxed like look to it because I want it to have a streaming feature.
You're not going to get that. And
I really want that. You won't get no.
But here's the thing. Let's say they do it, Toby. What's the point? You do it, and then they take they're taking the rights to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Like, you're doing all your GTA footage now. Now, granted, again, you guys aren't getting paid for that. You're doing it because you love it and you have fun doing it. You guys stream to Twitch all the time. You guys are taking your footage, you're cutting it, you're chopping it, you're throwing the videos up on YouTube all the time. But you wouldn't be able to do that with Nintendo stuff. And as much as you love Nintendo and you would enjoy doing that, you're not allowed to do that. It's ridiculous.
We do look at the historical context of when Nintendo did this at the height of the Wii U's being a complete bomb. And this was when Iwata was saying, we are going to look at new revenue streams. That's when this kind of started to become, they really started knuckling down on it, and they came up with policy. And it's just another revenue stream. A successful Nintendo may actually become more lax, but until their home system or their handheld system, is making them profit, they have to kind of screw you guys if you want to keep
I liken this to Go ahead.
What's interesting to me is that, all right, so recently Game Trailers was shut down, and they were a sort of middle-sized company that were doing reviews and video stuff on YouTube. And so you get the big guys like IGN and GameSpot that are still around, and they're probably always going to be around. But then you get lots more small people like us that are YouTubers that make video reviews, and we are only getting more and more popular. Every day there's more people doing it.
Yeah.
So it seems to make sense to me that Nintendo would want to relax their look on it a bit more, because there are more people that are going to be wanting to use their footage, and since these middle-sized companies are disappearing, they can't just have the big guys doing all the reviews and stuff. They're going to want the smaller people to want to make footage of their games and upload stuff about their games.
I take it as, I don't know where you guys were in your life or whatever when Napster was a big thing.
I remember that.
And Metallica was the first group to turn around and start suing fans, not Napster, fans, for downloading their music. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Why are you going after your fans and taking money out of your fans' hands?
When they're the ones that bought it anyway.
Yes. To me, it's a backhanded slap.
It is. It so is. It's like, here, you can have this, but don't do anything with it, and don't try and share it or advertise it or review it, because you can't do it.
Now, here's something to show that it's not all Nintendo, and I know that it's not all Nintendo. A while back, Toby and I were fortunate enough to get to do a first impression of Zombie Vikings. So what we basically did was Zoink Games gave Toby and I a review copy with all the review notes of when we could do, what we could talk about, what they wanted us to talk about, all that stuff. We do a first impression where Toby is playing the video, or playing the game, and I'm discussing things that I'm seeing and all that stuff, and Toby's talking about it too, and we're going back and forth. We take that footage, we upload it, I get a copyright claim against it.
Jesus.
But Zoink Games didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
That was YouTube. With their algorithm, they automatically grabbed it and said, we believe. But the difference is this. This is where the difference is. When I put a Nintendo game up, there's no way to dispute it. It goes up, done.
Yeah, you can't even try and appeal. You can't,
With the Zombie Vikings thing, that was YouTube. That's where the difference is. And I want people to understand that. When the algorithm grabs something, you'll actually go, it's an email from YouTube that goes, hey, we think this could potentially be something. You need to show proof that you have the rights to do this. So I went and I wrote an email to Alex from Zoink. I felt like an idiot. I felt like a jerk, because I'm I want to try to get paid off of that. It was awkward for me. It was the first time I ever did anything like this. She said, oh, you know what? No problem. Here's a link to a website that we have, because this happens all the time. Just go there, grab that link, email that link back to YouTube, and they'll push it through, and you'll be okay. Sure enough, I sent the email, done. All the rights came right back to me, and was good to go. We've had Image and Form on the show, and I don't believe the conversation happened on camera, but it was afterwards, where they were both asked, Julius and Brian were both saying, what do you guys feel about with the YouTube stuff and all that, and the with all the claims and stuff, and we were like, because at that time we weren't really big into it. We were like, whatever, it is what it is, and they were like, straight out, they just said, like, we want as many people to see our games as possible.
Yeah.
It's a benefit to us.
Because that's how you grow. That's how you, like, grow and eventually make more money.
Yeah. The problem is you have the big dog that sits up top, the giant, and is looking down on everybody and going, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. But then you have the little guys that are like, please, because they realize and they recognize what it is and what it does. I just hope and pray that someone, and what annoys me more than anything is the people that have the mouthpieces don't use them. When you got guys and people like iJustine and Lamar Wilson and all these people that are doing stuff for Nintendo,
yeah,
how in the world are they not going to Nintendo and going, hey guys, can we have a meeting? Can we sit down and discuss this and look at this? And they may laugh them off. Honestly, they may just go, get out of here. But at the same time, like, you have the ability. You're meeting Reggie. You're talking to Reggie. How are you not able to just go, hey Reggie?
Aren't they?
I don't know how they can't
sponsorship
sympathize.
Deal though?
It probably is, because they all get free stuff from Nintendo.
So how can they turn around and say to them, I don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Please still sponsor me and support my videos, but I don't like what you're doing. They're going to turn around and go, okay, I won't sponsor you, I'll sponsor someone else.
Because you know what it is, Toby? It comes down to ethics.
Yeah.
And it comes down to, because just because somebody's feeding you and giving you free stuff, that means
doesn't mean you can't say anything.
It's like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
listen, that's like a guy comes to me, right? That's like right now. Let's just say hypothetically, my dad comes over and he gives me $1,000 a week. Okay, he's giving me $1,000 a week, but then I watch him walk down the street and hold somebody up with a gun. Do I not pull my dad aside and go, listen, Dad, this isn't right what you're doing. This isn't cool. Because at the end of the day, I'm condoning what he's doing just because he's giving me $1,000 a week. So it's the same philosophy. Granted, it's extreme philosophy, but it's the same philosophy. At some point, you need to turn around and go, I'm a YouTuber. This is where I make my money. You're giving me free games. You're giving me these meet and greets and all this stuff and getting to do all this stuff. It's cool. Thank you. But listen, at the end of the day, because here's the big picture. If any of those people stop drawing numbers, they're gone. They're out. So you need to protect yourself. And truthfully, the people that are there, honestly, they don't do Let's Plays. They don't do stuff. So it's not even affecting them. They're vloggers of that nature, and they do reviews and stuff like that. But it's like, I look at someone like Josh Thomas from the BitBlock.
Yeah.
Who, if you watch his Patreon video, this guy does so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
he's invested a lot of money as well. Like,
yes.
A lot of money.
And if you go and watch his Patreon video, all the copyright claims that he gets hit with in a month is staggering.
Yeah.
And all he does is Nintendo. He loves Nintendo. And it's like...
He promotes them. He has, like, in a way, a really biased view. I've never heard him say anything like bad against them. And I watch the BitBlock all the time. Like, there's never been a point where he's been like, no, Nintendo have done this really badly. Like, he is, like, literally just, like, Nintendo's pet. Like, he is. And he plays into their hand because he always says good stuff about him.
And if you watch the Dream Suite stuff that he does for Animal Crossing, I don't watch the Dream Suite stuff to see Animal Crossing. I'm watching it for him because he's hilarious and he's funny. So it's like, what right do you have to take the money from the guy when
he's putting all this energy into it?
Yeah, and he's the one. I'm watching for him. I'm not watching for you. I'm not watching for Animal Crossing game. I can go play my Animal Crossing game myself. Here's the thing that Nintendo needs to see. When we were all kids and we all played video games, and we went to a cousin's house, and a cousin was playing a game that we liked, or we were watching him play. And shout out to the train. And you're sitting there, you're watching cousin Timmy sit there and play Super Mario Bros. 3, and you don't have it yet, right? But you've heard a couple things about it, but you're sitting there, you're watching it, you walk out the door and you're like, Mom, can I have Super Mario Bros. 3? Mom, can
I've done that many times. I've done that so many times.
Every person sitting in this podcast right now has done it. Every person that's listening right now to this, watching this video, every single person that has a relative has done this. Doesn't matter. Everybody's done this. It's no different. If I hear,
exactly, it's no different at all.
Going to be reviewing a game or showing off a game, a new game, even Game Explain. Like, if I hear that they're going to be doing something, I go, hey, you know what? I like them guys. Let me watch and see what it is. I'm kind of curious about this game. Let me check it out. So essentially, because you weren't able to like take money out of pockets of the kids that were playing NESs back in the day, showing their cousins, it's the same thing. You're getting free promotion.
Yeah.
Let it go. Back off the, you know.
I just want to say that, like, I think since I've had my channel, I've had a lot of people like very lightheartedly ask me, "Hey Holly, can you do a Let's Play of Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Sunshine, all this kind of stuff?" And it's like I sit there and think about how fun that would be, but I can't bring myself to do them for very long because I'm scared. Like, I'm scared of something being put against my channel.
Yeah.
Like, I am scared. That's why I don't do it, because I know there's a massive market for that on my channel, because I started off with like DS games and Animal Crossing stuff, but I feel like I can't go any further than that because of that. And it's not a money thing.
They can shut your channel down, can't they?
Exactly. And I don't want that because I've worked for this. Yeah, which is why, like, I kind of have to respond very vague and say, yeah, and you guys know that, like, Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine are like my favorite games.
Yeah.
And I can't spread that enthusiasm because I'm scared that I'm going to be shut down and I won't be able, and I have to either start from scratch or, when it's something that I have put time and money and effort into, like, which is, why I just don't do it more often.
Like, I've been doing YouTube for a little over a year, and I've got close to 900 subscribers. You've been doing it for how long, Holly?
Maybe like a year. Well, I've been doing YouTube since I was about 12 years old, but this channel right now I've been doing since like September 2014. So we're coming up to like a year and a half, basically.
Okay. And you got what? How many subscribers do you have?
I think about 1,650. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have we both are fortunate enough that we have a good following, a good number. But it's not easy to get to that number.
No, it's not.
And it's not easy to do a video and think, like, you do a video and it doesn't mean it's going to get a bunch of views. Even though I have 9, okay, I did the vlog I did yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. 900 subscribers. I have, I think, 35 views on it.
Yeah.
So
story of my life, that is, honestly. Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, it's not easy to get subscribers and stuff. So when you're sitting there, that you're busting your butt for a year and a half, 2 years to get the subscribers, to get the following you get.
Yeah.
To think that within the blink of an eye, because you play the wrong game, you can
or show the wrong thing, or like, just for it to all be potentially at risk to be gone. It's like, it is scary. It's a scary thing.
And it makes you second guess what content to do. Like, you could do Fantasy Life because nobody's going to come claim that game, because that's
no one's
game. So you can do it and enjoy it and have fun. But then you go, I really love Animal Crossing. Oh, wait a minute. I do that.
With Fantasy Life, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I feel like I put something on YouTube and I said, hey, like, everyone needs to look at this game because it's really good, and that's why those videos have like 20,000 views, because it's like I felt like I was one of the only people that really just like was such an ambassador for it, and I feel really proud of those videos, and I feel like if Level 5 ever knew anything about me, I think they would be fine with it. I think they would be happy with it, because I have had at least 200 comments across all my videos that have said, because of you, I bought Fantasy Life. Now, like, and that's a kind of big thing.
Yeah.
And I know I'm like really tooting my own horn, but stuff like this has to happen, because otherwise, like, people don't know. And some games do better than others, and like ones like Mario Kart and like Smash Bros, they talk for themselves. Like, they will have the hype regardless of when they're released or whatever. But then you get like other games, even things like Xenoblade. I know that's been really popular, but there are still a lot of people that haven't played it.
There was people that in videos asked Toby to play Xenoblade.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, why?
To see what it's about.
Yes.
To see, yeah, exactly.
What's the reason? Why does Toby have any desire to play it when it is time consuming?
Yeah.
To do what we're doing, like our Elgatos cost $100 and something to record the footage.
Yeah.
You put all this time into it, and then bang, it's copyright. Like people are like, well, why did you stop doing the Stump the Guru stuff? And basically, first off, I was having issues with the computer. Like sometimes it was recording, sometimes it wasn't. I was getting frustrated because I'd spend like an hour to do it, only to turn around and go, Nintendo go, no, sorry.
No, it's not good. Yeah.
And it's like, man, I just spent 2 hours of my life playing your game, but not for you. I'm sitting here taking time.
For the people that are following me.
Yeah, collecting the codes, playing their levels, spending time, and then for what? Like they didn't give me their stuff because of you, Nintendo. They gave me their stuff because of me, that they wanted to see me play their stuff. It's
And at no point does anyone say, this is my game, I own this stuff. So it's all fair use. Like it's all fair use. And Nintendo are like, I feel like they're the only like big game company that just don't allow it.
They don't get it.
They don't understand like how damaging it is to their just business, because
do you feel like the new president is going to change that though?
I think there needs to be like a pretty big like mob of people to say like, you guys, but going back to the whole, how you were saying like iJustine and people have been sponsored by Nintendo, and like I would have thought, so I follow someone called Nugarella, and I subscribed to her when she was at about like 5,000 subscribers, probably a little bit over, and she made some Nintendo videos, and now she's at about 250,000, and I've watched her for so long, and I would have just thought that. And it goes back to the whole, well, would you call someone out even though they're giving you stuff? But I would have thought she would have spoken up for, like, the smaller YouTubers, because she was a very small YouTuber, like, 2 years ago. Like, you would think these people would make some kind of, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you have to look at it like this, though. What people have to do is they need to speak to their subscribers and explain, because you have guys like Angry Joe that people turned on him, like as many of like attaboys that he got just as many Nintendo fanboys screaming at him.
Yeah,
I love Nintendo. I hate the Nintendo fanboy, because the Nintendo fanboy
it's unreasonable.
And let me just say this. I was the Nintendo fanboy for a very long time that just sat there and was like, everything you do is wonderful. Me and Toby discussed it. Like,
you can't do any wrong. Yeah,
we don't need HD graphics. Nintendo said we don't need HD graphics. We don't need HD graphics.
Yeah.
We're good with the Wii. We don't need this.
Nothing needs to change. Yeah.
Yeah, PS3 comes out. Oh, that don't matter. That's garbage. Who cares? The Wii U comes out. It's like the second coming of Christ. Oh my God, we got HD.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. No. Like, at some point you have to open your eyes for yourself and go, this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And you got guys like Angry Joe that like had people, turn on them and stuff. And at the end of the day, it comes down to this. To answer your question, Toby, I don't think that Kimishima is going to change this. I don't think that he cares enough about it. I don't think that's why I think that like they're smart enough that they realize that like we need the YouTubers, because they bring something to us, but they care about the big YouTubers. They don't care about the little guys. And that's disheartening, because I'm a guy that has played Nintendo games for over 30 years, all my life. I've played for 75-80% of my life, I've played Nintendo games. I played Atari for a short period of time, and the minute I got the NES, I got hooked, and I never turned back from Nintendo. It's sad to think that I can't share my I would love to do a Let's Play series on Zelda, the original Zelda.
Yeah,
and discuss, like what it meant to me when I discovered things as a kid and all that, and just go over all that stuff. And maybe nobody cares, but at the end of the day, why do I want to dedicate so much time to something like that when I know that it's essentially a waste of time to do when I could be doing other things and recording other things that do get views? And that's what it comes down to. Where do you dictate your time? Because we only have we're part-time YouTubers. We don't do this full-time because it doesn't pay the bills for us.
No.
So ultimately we'd love to, absolutely. But when you're a part-time YouTuber, you need to dedicate the proper time to what it is. You have to look at it and go, this works, this doesn't work. I need to go to what works. You know.
The thing is people turn to other platforms like Patreon now because YouTube doesn't pay enough, especially with this Nintendo Creators thing. They're more likely to be able to earn a living through Patreon than through monetizing their videos on YouTube.
I disagree. Because the ones that are getting paid by YouTube, they're making a lot of money.
If you've got multiple millions of subscribers, yeah, but for the little guys like us...
but we're real little. Like,
we are, but I mean, like, if we wanted to...
Okay, you look at a Josh Thomas. Okay, take him as an example, the BitBlock. If he did not get the strikes or the copyright claims against him that Nintendo, he would be fine. He would legitimately be able to just walk away.
Do what he's doing. Yeah.
Do what he's doing, and that's it. Because his views are way up there. But if you look at the amount of views he gets and think he's getting $0 off any of that, that's why he's going to Patreon. Because he has to. And to continue to, because he's making a decision to continue to do what he loves, which is Nintendo videos, Nintendo content. He needs to go to Patreon.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, is that people are turning to those platforms because of Nintendo.
Yeah, but originally you said that it's not because of the copyright claims. You said that they're going there because YouTube's not paying enough. YouTube is paying enough.
What I meant is because Nintendo's claiming their videos
on
YouTube, that's why.
Yeah. So I don't know. That went way off what a lot of people expected.
That's like a podcast on its own.
Yeah, that was like a big...
So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, watching us on YouTube. Please, if you get a chance, go out, like our stuff, subscribe to our stuff, share our stuff, give us a review, give us a rating, and leave comments. Like, if there's stuff that, are we doing what you want? Are you happy with the content we're giving you? Let us know where we can make some adjustments if we need to. One thing I meant to do early on, I've completely forgot. I wanted to give a shout out to Amigos and Amiibo Steel. They just started a new podcast called Touch Base Podcast. It's basically Amiibo centric. They're also going to.
I like the name.
Yeah,
Touch Base. That's really cool.
Yeah. Adam Rollins in the Geek Guru group gave him that name. So shout out to Adam. And
just chatting to him just now.
Yeah. So pretty much more or less the way it is he's on SoundCloud now. They're putting in for their iTunes and all that, but it's a good podcast. I encourage anybody that's into Amiibo or games that feature Amiibo to check it out. You could follow Holly. Holly, you're going to tell people because you got some good stuff.
Okay, see, why do I have to have such a confusing name?
I know, why can't you just have Holly?
I don't know, because I just couldn't, Holly wasn't available at the time, so I just went with it. So, my Twitter handle is halcyonholly_. My Facebook page, I think, is just Holly, so you might have to trawl through a lot of Facebook pages. My YouTube, if you just type in halcyonholly, it'll come up. My Instagram is hollylake_, and yeah, that's just all my stuff.
And you expect me to know this? No.
Yes, I do expect you to know this.
He still gets confused by iTunes and Instagram. I mean,
no, I don't. I'm nailing it every week, and I don't know what you're talking about. So
because of the pre-podcast ritual, though.
You could.
And you like all my pictures on Instagram.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I support my friends.
You followed me because I'm drunk.
You can follow Alan on Instagram and on Twitter at Alan_Paxton. You can follow Toby on Instagram at Amiibo_workshop, Twitter at Toby's_take. Myself, you can follow me at The Geek Gurus on both Instagram and Twitter. That is all. Peace, mother.
Bye.
Bye.